So today we're looking at Shfiguarts Kafka Hibino from Kaiju No.8. The retail price is 9,900 yen. I bought mine for $66. And I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting much, but maybe Bandai, might have pulled something cool here. You guys ready to find out? Because I am!
Alright, starting with the box, simple, clean, and surprisingly stylish. We've got that deep red color dominating the design, a direct nod to the Defense Force visual tone. A large window lets you see Kafka and all his accessories clearly inside, with the Kaiju No.8 logo printed in sharp black font across the front. The side panels are made with subtle hex patterns, giving that tactical military feel. This is the bottom, the top, left side, right side. On the back, you'll see your typical Tamashii Nations layout, posting references, accessories preview, and Bandai's guarantee seal.
It's minimalist but fit the themes perfectly. Military, professional, no nonsense, exactly what Kafka wishes his life was like.
Right out of the box, this figure looks clean. The sculpt work is sharper than I expected for a relatively grounded character. Let's start from the top. The head sculpt is a perfect representation of Kafka's personality. He's got that slightly tired expression, those determined but worn out eyes. Bandai did a great job capturing his "I'm too old for this" vibe. The hair sculpt is impressive. Individual strand detailing, not just a solid chunk. It has a natural matte finish, breaking light softly without looking plasticky. It sits neatly on the head joint without blocking movement. Now, the uniform. This is where the sculpt truly stands out. Kafka's Defense Force suit features a dual-tone color palette, a matte green base with dark gray armor plating around the chest, shoulders, and thigh. That gray armor isn't metallic. It's got a semi-gloss finish, enough to look like polymer composite, not raw metal. The armor has fine line sculpting, subtle vents, connection seams, and texture that mimic tactical body plating. You can even see the different layers of fabric beneath the armor. The paintwork is crisp, clean transition between the green suit and gray plating. No paint bleeding, no glossy overspray. The Defense Force emblem on his shoulders are sharply temple printed. Crisp line, clear text, perfectly aligned. The belt includes fitting for 2 pouches and 2 interchangeable parts, one without the gun and one with it. So this section gets a bit more detailed. His boots are made white with thread detailing underneath. Little things, but they make him feel real. Around the back, you'll notice that small knife holster. Beautifully sculpted but sadly useless. It's sealed. You cannot store anything in there. A nice visual touch, but mechanically a missed opportunity.
Overall, the sculpt and paint are seriously good for a human Shfiguarts. No sloppy paint edges, no dull surfaces. He looks like he just stepped out of the anime. Realistic, proportionate, balanced. I think this one deserves 9 out of 10. Now, accessories. This is where things get a little thin. For a $66 figure, Bandai didn't go crazy here.
Okay, so here's everything you get. 3 faceplates, smiling face, serious face, and shouting panicky face. All cleanly printed with crisp eyes and natural skin tone. The paint is subtle with soft shading on the cheeks to avoid that flat look. 2 pairs of hands, closed fists, gun-holding hand with sculpted trigger fingers, 2 additional open hands for relaxed or expressive poses, and 1 standard issue handgun. Small, matte black, slightly undersized but proportionate to Kafka's frame. It's nicely molded with a visible trigger guard and slight detail, but no silver, dry brushing or metallic highlights, which would have added realism. One additional arm part. This is special connectors to attach the optional Kaiju No.8 forearm piece. Sold separately, they're small, but they show Bandai is thinking about future compatibility. Now here's the honest part. The accessories do their job, but nothing stands out as premium. No alternate torso, no transformation gimmick, no bonus prop, and that's a shame because Kafka's personality would have been great to capture with something fun like a clipboard or defense ID. The hands though, the sculpt is very good. You can actually see the glove texture and subtle panel lines. So even though the quantity is small, the quality is high.
It's kind of like Kafka's work ethic, limited range but great executions. I think the accessories deserve 8 out of 10. Articulation time, and let me just say, for a normal human SHF Figuarts figure, Kafka actually moved better than I expected.
Okay, let's break down systematically. Head and neck dual ball joint system can look up around 30 degrees down to 25 degrees and tilt left and right for natural motion. Hair sculpt doesn't interfere much with rotation, surprisingly smooth. Let's move on to shoulders. Butterfly joints allow forward extension for aiming poses. Arm raise hits about 90 degrees outward, full rotation forward and backward. Shoulders armor plates are soft plastic and float slightly, so they move naturally with the arms instead of blocking articulation. Biceps and elbows, full bicep swivel hidden inside the upper sleeve. Double jointed elbows reach about 135 degrees more or less, very fluid and no stiffness at all. For the wrist, standard SHF ball hinge, full rotation and tilt, great for expressive gestures or weapon grip adjustment. Torso and ab crunch, two separate joints, upper chest and lower waist, forward crunch, back arch, and side bend. Twisting motion is excellent. Smooth but firm, you can make Kafka lean naturally without looking robotic. That dynamic torso range really sells action poses, whether it's him shouting orders or mid-sprint from a kaiju. Legs and hips, drop-down hip system for deeper front kicks, full splits to the side without stress marks. Knees are double-jointed, folding fully with clean sculpt continuity. Thigh swivel allows inward rotation, helping with balance stances. The knee armor section is slightly separate, keeping proportions natural. Ankles and feet, excellent tilt range, full rotation and pivot. Toe hinge adds flexibility for running and kneeling poses. Overall, the figure is balanced. He can hold low crouch, aim poses, walking stances, even two-handed gun poses without support. What I love is that the figure feels tight but not stiff. The tolerances are spot on. Joints hold position firmly but never squeak or pop.
It's not Dragon Ball tier fluid, it's far beyond what we got with early SHF Figuart human characters. The articulation is solid, reliable, and dare I say, mature, just like Kafka himself. So, 8.5 out of 10.
For scale comparison, Kafka stands around 15.5 centimeters, which fits perfectly next to SHF Kaiju No.8, his monster form. They look great together and a literal before and after display. Next to Goju Satoru, his both equal height. Against Deku, Kafka's noticeably taller, giving a grounded adult proportions. And beside Rengoku, he feels more realistic, less exaggerated, more anime accurate.
Color-wise, he fits nicely in any modern SHF display, matte finish, subtle tone, and that tactical palette that doesn't clash. Now, move on to 7 poses!
Right off the bat, Kafka jumps straight into a combat pose. Honestly, her arm joints feel smooth and sturdy, making this pose super easy to pull off. Swapping out the faceplate and hands, effortless. And that torso tilt, chef's kiss, solid 8 out of 10 because the pose is pretty standard. Next up, the standing pose. Gotta be honest, it took a bit of time to get her legs balanced. The right leg feels a little wobbly, maybe just my batch being a bit off. Still, for a standard pose like this, it looks pretty good, so I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. Third pose, pretty similar to the first one, but this time, he's paired up with Reno Ichikawa. The pose looks cool on its own, but let's be real, it looks way better when her partner's in the frame. This one easily deserves a 9 out of 10. Alright, moving on to Kafka's kick pose. There's one little flaw though. Her head joint turned out to be a bit loose, which is weird since it was perfectly fine before. Anyway, the leg articulation is actually pretty solid, not bad at all. I'll give this one a 9 out of 10. Fifth pose, getting a little extreme here. I wanted to test his leg stability and ooh la la, he's rock solid. Super easy to pose and the best part, he stands perfectly without a base. I love this one. Solid 9.5 out of 10. Alright, enough with the combat poses. Now, I have switched to Kafka's groovy faceplate. And look at that! Even without a stand, her toe articulation holds up really well. It perfectly matches that panic running expression. Just like in the anime. Easy, 9 out of 10. Final pose. Pose number 7. Of course, it's with Kaiju number 8. Even though the pose itself is similar, that extra kaiju effect part really takes it up a notch. Seriously, why didn't SHF Figuarts include this from the start? Oh my god, they can be such an anomaly sometimes. But anyway, the extra parts looks awesome, the pose feels sturdy. This one totally deserves a 10 out of 10.
So after spending few hours posing this figure, what's the verdict?
The SHF Kafka Hibino is surprisingly solid. But for $66, this is a collector's piece for fans, not a toy for posing extravagantly. If you already have Kaiju number 8, this one complements it perfectly. If not, you might want to wait for a transformation or battle damage version in the future. He's not flashy, not powerful, but just like Kafka himself.
And that wraps up my deep dive on SHF Figuarts Kafka Hibino from Kaiju number 8. If you made it this far, this minute, make sure you like and subscribe, especially if you are into anime figure review and unboxing, because there are plenty more figures waiting in line to be reviewed. And also follow me on social media, Instagram or TikTok, Madam Chip, for more updates or maybe toys photography, you name it. Thank you for watching and see you in the next review. Bye bye!